How aggressively should you follow up with an event that you want to get hired at?
How'd you do that?
I see that success is not something you pursue, it is something you are.
So a while ago, I made a video on my follow-up process and in terms of following up with events. But how aggressively should you follow up with events? Because you know you should follow up with events, but how aggressively should you do it? The problem is if you're too aggressive, you come across as desperate. But if you're not aggressive enough, you won't get the gig because you'll send one email and then they won't respond and you'll be like, ooh. So, I mean, how aggressive should you be? The answer is, it depends. On what? Well, I'm glad you asked. You see, it really depends on how bad you want the gig, like how bad you want this event. Because if you want the event, like if you really want to do a presentation at this specific event, then you're going to follow up a lot more than if it was just a normal event. You didn't really care too much. And if it's an event that you really want to do, the difference is that you're just going to spread it out more over a period of time. So let's say you'll follow up a few times to begin with, and with most events you'll just stop. Most events you'll say, okay, they haven't answered, done. But because this is an event that you really want to do, you simply follow up once or twice a year, like 3-4 times a year. And it looks like this. So here's what it looks like. As time goes on, you're essentially going to follow up less and less. But first, you're going to send an email out. So first, you send that initial contact, or you want to call, whatever. So first, you send that initial email out. Let's say they don't respond. So now, 3 to 4 days later, you send another one out. They don't respond. Okay, 4 or 5 days later, you send another one out. They don't respond. 4 or 5 days later, you send another one out. They don't respond. Then you start to spread it out a little bit more. So now you say, okay, 2 weeks later, they don't respond. Okay, 3 weeks later, you send another one out. They don't respond. Okay, 3 weeks after that, you send another one out. They don't respond. Then you send a final email. Say like, listen up, son. Or, no, you don't do that. But you send a final email. You say like, hey, basically your final email. Then you just stop after that. This is just a normal event. If it's an event that you really want to do, you just don't stop. I mean, you're just like, I don't care what they say. You don't hear it. You just keep contacting them, because you got to think like this. There's nothing wrong with following up at least 7 times or more. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, because people are busy. They've got things to do. And this is why in the Event Finder program, I included an entire email conversation that I had with someone where they hired me for a $10,000 gig, because at first, he didn't really answer. Like he said they were interested, but then he didn't answer to the emails. I just kept followed up. He didn't answer because he was busy. He was a VP of this Fortune 500 company, so he was busy. And you got to understand that that's how people are. I mean, they're just freaking busy. So you essentially want to change how you follow up as well. So maybe one time you send an email, another time you make a call, then you send a Facebook message, an Instagram message. It doesn't matter. I mean, it literally doesn't matter what you use, whether it's email, call, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. You follow up in all different types of channels. And most problems with follow-up tend to occur in your own mind, like literally your own mind. People say like, they keep saying like, oh, I shouldn't call on a Sunday. Oh, I shouldn't call after 5 p.m. And the best salespeople, they literally don't care. They're like, shoot, Sunday is when people are home. Oh, after 5 p.m., that's exactly when they're home. They're eating dinner, so I can call them because I know they're going to be there. So that's how real salespeople think. And so everything that you think in terms of follow-up is happening inside of your own mind. For example, with the Speaking Lifestyle, I remember I used to think, well, when I first heard that I should send an email out every single day, first thing that popped in my head was, I don't know, I mean, isn't that too much? I mean, I don't know, that's too many emails, sending an email every single day. I don't know about that. And that's what was going on in my head. Then I just started doing it, and hey, it was way better than sending like one email every week or like one email every month. And so all this stuff is happening inside of your head. I mean, you got to think, okay, imagine if telemarketers were to say like, oh, I shouldn't call people because they hate me, and they're going to yell at me. Oh, I shouldn't call people. Imagine if they said that. They wouldn't make any money. And so you got to operate from this state of mind where all your follow-up problems that you have, oh, I shouldn't contact them 7 times, and oh, this is too much, all that is happening inside of your head. You really got to think about it like this. If you want to really do an event, you secretly stalk them. You literally become a stalker if you want to do the event, because what you're doing is you're learning more about them. And the reason why I say you secretly want to just stalk them is because over time, the person who may have told you no, or the person who didn't answer, over time they may get fired, they may move on to another place and get replaced by someone else, and you never know. Maybe that other person, they just might say, oh, cool, this speaker really does seem perfect for our event. So you never really know. And also, you might be saying the wrong things to them. So they're not answering you because you maybe don't know how to actually sell. You think you do, but you really don't. So whatever you're saying to them isn't the right things that you're saying. And as time goes on, you learn more, you get smarter. I mean, you get like me, you become a genius. And so you know how to sell. And once you know how to sell, because you're following up with them and you're changing every time, you say like, oh man, I made this dumb mistake a long time ago. Now I know how to sell, so now I'm going to send them this email. Bam, they respond back to you. Or the reason why you keep following up all the time is because you might actually be at a level where well, you might just not be as good as you think you are. Well, your image might not be as good. So if you're contacting an event where they hired Tony Robbins and you have a horrible image, like you have no videos, no pictures, no nothing, and you're contacting an event that hired Tony Robbins, then you think to yourself, okay, maybe after a year or 2 years or however long, once you have the right image, then they'll say yes to you because now you look better. Your image looks a million times better than what it was. And that's why they were ignoring you over here. But now that it looks better, now that they know, oh, you've done all these presentations, now they say, okay, yeah, let's bring this guy in. So you really want to think that there are no rules that you automatically want to follow when it comes to just getting on stages and when it comes to just following up. In terms of how aggressively should you follow up with events, it's as aggressively as you need to be to get the event. That's what it comes down to. And if you like this video, if you like all these videos, comment on this, share it, tell people how brilliant these videos are. Just like it and comment on them.